We'll supply you with that.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. That would be really good. Well, I think we're ready to kick off the show. Let's kick off the show.
Okay.
All right, and welcome to the Pagey Train. Today, I have in the studio with me John de Bruin, founder, part founder, director, or artistic director, or car director, event director for the Running on Empty Festival. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you very much.
Mate, you're just one of those guys when you meet, people just gravitate to. You just got such a slick style, such a calm demeanour. As soon as I met you, man, you just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, just to inform our audience tonight, or today, whichever time you're listening, we met each other on the Running on Empty Festival 2018.
2018, yep.
And I was your documentor, of sorts.
Yeah, you were a documentor and publicist by the way it was going and getting us out there. So it was great.
Yeah, no, it was
fantastic.
It was good to give advice though, because I've run a few festivals and I was sort of in the. I was a satellite background dude in the building of it.
Okay.
And then just as a consultant, and then you guys needed someone to shoot you a doco, and I've got to say it is one of the funnest projects I've ever done.
I think that's probably the hardest part for us for 2018 is from 2018 to 2022 is that we've been told don't change much, but its size is obviously going to change because as at yesterday we have just over 500 people committed to COBA already, and that's by name, email address, how many people they're bringing, and we've got...
And this is 2 years out.
2 years out, and we've got 201 cars committed.
Yeah, so that's like, what, 4 times the size already?
Well, we had 400 cars last time, but that was 10 years. But the problem that we've got is we had to start looking at logistics. So at 800 cars, I've got to bring 7 tankers of 98 octane fuel into COBA.
Wow.
So at 1,000 cars, I've got to bring just short of 9 tankers of fuel in. So now I've got to start looking at, do we put a cap on it? And if we put a cap on it,
who gets in, who gets out? That's a hard one.
Hotel accommodation sold out in 24 hours from announcing the date. So at the moment...
I remember getting a very stressed message from you. Roscoe, need to know your numbers. I've got shit going down. This is going like hotcakes.
10 cities up and running through 10 city hire. So basically you walk in, get a tent, walk out, don't do anything, just there's bedding there, bring your bedding, we can get it off them. We initially bought 50 tents and they scaled up from there, so we'll see how that goes. At the moment, the way it's tracking, 800 cars, 3,000 people in town.
That's impressive. It's very impressive.
It's impressive and scary at the same time, but it's good. It gets. You're scared at the same time as well as being excited.
Yeah, it's a good mix to have though, being scared and excited about it. We suffer the same thing with our festival in Liverpool at the moment. We've changed venues 3 times. We were at Parramatta, then we were in the city, and then now we're at Liverpool. And you don't know how it's going to go when you go through a change and especially expansion, because you think, I want to get as many people to this thing as I can so I can support the town, so I can do what it is that I want to do and have fun while doing it. And then it turns into a monster.
It does, because now you're going... So you're between a rock and a hard place in that they're saying, I want for everybody that's come here, I want to bring 2 more people or 3 more people. And you're going, well, that's all really good, except...
When they can sleep.
But you're sort of going... Then I've had people saying, do not turn it into the summer gnats, and we don't want to turn it into the summer gnats.
No, well, I think you've got a different thing going on. Well, let's get into the Running on Empty Festival. What is the Running on Festival, and what's it all about?
Okay, the Running on Empty Festival is basically celebrating the movie Running on Empty, which was partly shot in Sydney, partly shot in COBA, and the reason COBA was picked because it was the furthest point in 1981 when it was shot that you can get stuff to in one day. That's the reason we got picked.
Okay, it's literally a logistical
thing.
Logistical
point
thing.
Away, one day. And then they found all these little places that was really quirky for shooting, and they loved it. They fell in love with the place, so it was good. So,
well, it's an iconic film, Running on Empty. Like, it is quotable. People quote this film. It's right there next to Mad Max,
I didn't know how the support basis thing has got, and they fanatical. The people are fanatical. It's bloody great, but they fanatical.
But it's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's
fantastic.
It is like
There's so much love to be out there.
The friends I made through running on empty 18, and then I've got now, and they coming back, and they're bringing people back with them, and they bring fantastic cars back, and there's cars I fell in love with, and Fox One went away from Cobo worth a whole lot more money than when it turned up.
Oh man, that is sex on wheels, that car.
It is.
Yeah, that's amazing vehicle.
Jason took me for a ride in it, and I thought to myself, because Jason's deaf, and I went, wow, this thing's loud inside, but it doesn't matter because you can just feel the vibrations going through the car, and it is just sex on wheels. It's just
an amazing
insane.
vehicle. I've got a little bit of 6 degrees of separation. My wife went to school with him in Perth.
Way.
Yeah. It was I went to this event and I ran into blokes that I served in East Timor with. It's unbelievable. Like I ran into insane, isn't it?
So, it is now it is like a little family. And on Facebook, I always say to them, welcome to the family, the Running on Empty family, because we want to make it a family thing. Bring your kids. Don't separate them out. The changes we're making for 2022 is we finished off in 2018 with a dinner, which means we only had 250 people that can say goodbye to the actors and everything else. 2022, the Running on Empty movie will be shown on the Saturday night, so everybody is there. We'll have a small Q&A session there with them, and then show the movie, and we'll have bands afterwards. So it is probably you can leave your car if you want to leave it there, but it should be a big night. We want people to stay.
Oh, you should, definitely leave your car there. Oh, after being to Running on Empty 18, oh man, that was a party. The whole town erupted. It literally erupted. I was driving through town getting some footage out of a sunroof, and everyone was just just shouting like platitudes at you, like, yeah, how you going? It was just insane. Well, it was electric.
There was a really good relationship between the Running on Empty visitors and Cobar. The visitors loved Cobar, and Cobar loved the respect that all our visitors had for Cobar. We had 400 cars on Union Oval that night, and nobody dropped the clutch, which I just thought there's going to be so much grass torn up, and not one person dropped the clutch on there.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that.
No. Well, you look at our demographic is 45 to 54. They spend an obscene amount of money on their cars. They love their cars. We love our cars, and they just got respect for what they do. The most trouble we had in town was from young people just going, oh yeah, I can drive around now. No, you can't.
No.
The police was very good with this, though. They looked after us.
Oh, when you register something like that with the authorities, they'd be like, oh, righto. They would be prepared, surely.
Well, in 2018, the council was, this is an interesting thing. 2022, the council's right on board. So they effectively want to turn Cobar into the car capital of the Western area now.
Well, they should, though. It's a great idea.
Down to want to build a burnout pad somewhere down the track.
That's a good idea as well. Have it supervise it, have people trained and know what they're doing. Just makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is that it's a place where you can relax, like stuff we didn't plan. There's people throwing out chairs outside the shops and just sit there and just watch the cars parking all day. And then next minute I saw the Eskies come out and the JDs and Co come out, and the police just walked past going, okay. And it was good. It was just...
Well, everyone was quite civil, and the town was really happy. I remember I interviewed quite a few people over the couple of days, and I interviewed a lady that was a hairdresser, and she was like just so stoked with this festival. And I said, well, why are you so stoked? She goes, I've never done so many haircuts in a day. Because everyone's getting in photos and they want to look good, so they go, well, I better get a haircut so I can look good next to my cool looking car. I just think what a great thing for a town that might not always book out its accommodation.
The fact that that's why I was chasing you, see how many people you bring up, because when it got to I'm going to release a date, I had people were ringing up hotels going, I know the dates in September, I don't know what days, but I want to book 3 rooms, and the hotel said, I need dates, and they said, I'll ring you as soon as I get the dates. So as soon as we released the dates, it went bang, 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 bang. We had 11 rooms left at one hotel the next morning, and I put it on Facebook, and it was gone by 10 o'clock that day.
Yeah, no, it went like... I remember even just driving, because, from Sydney, it's a bit of a drive to Cobar, and the convoy, on the way, was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
It's something that I can't organise, but I'm hoping that the people from Cobar, sort of coming into Cobar, do organise convoys from wherever they come, because we've got people. Well, Steve Sobber came all the way down from Cairns when he came down.
Yeah, big shout out, mate. Big shout out.
Down from Mackay. He's now in Brizzy, so he's got a bit of a shorter trip.
Oh yeah, I'm a bit of a HQ fan. I love his car.
His car is beautiful.
Beautiful car.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
I am a bit of a shout out for Mr. Ben Crombie, which we'll probably get to build the War Memorial.
Because you're doing a couple of war memorials out of this, yeah? You got the World War One memorial for the 2018, is that right?
2018 we got part of the money put away. So I got a price on World War One. We need to raise another 15 grand this year, which I said I'll do it outside running on empty. So I do a couple of fundraisers, and we'll probably have our version of Dancing with the Stars, depending on COVID, and raise the shortfall, and we'll try and get it built by 2022. So the people that come in for 2022 can touch it and say, this is what you're building on this weekend. So basically when they walk away, it'll totally fund building World War Two. So World War One's, we didn't know how big World War One should be, but it's going to have 428 names on it that left Cobar. So Ben Crombie is going to build this and have World War Two, which we've got World War Two names, but I've been told getting some of the names from the more recent wars might be a bit of a struggle, but we'll see how they go.
It could be a bit of a struggle as well, like especially chasing from the town. To find the fallen. They because of the size of World War One and Two, they've got better records. To find the fallen would be a big challenge. But hey, that doesn't leaves some scope for another festival, perhaps.
It does. Look,
I always put the pressure on you guys.
No. This from what the Cobar Shire councils want now, it looks like they wanted a biennial festival at minimum. We had Festival of the Miners Coast, which brought a few people into town, and then Running on Empty came out, and it just blew everything out of the water. So now they want to say, okay, well, we've got the interest there, and the beauty about Cobar is we're far away enough. So the one thing that we didn't realise is, if you're in a car club in Sydney, you may see people from Wollongong, you may see people from Newcastle, but you don't see people from Brisbane, Adelaide, Melbourne.
No.
Cobar is 9-8 hours from anywhere in the world, so basically it is. It is. And my mate keeps on telling me it's not the centre of the universe, and I say you will pass through to some stage or another. So
yeah, I've actually been there a couple of times now for media work. I shot a film there in Cobar. It was a revenge fantasy of a serial killer going through town, attacking this poor dude with a hammer. And that was like 10 years ago. Well, we needed a desert.
It's got a good place to have it.
Yeah, well, we're going to go to... the producer wanted to go to Broken Hill, and I got him to go, no, look, can we do Cobar? Like, you'll get the same shots in Cobar than you will in Broken Hill.
Yep.
And he's because he just had in his mind, and like I didn't learn this, because you hear this saying, it's out the back of Burke.
It is out the back of Burke.
It literally is out the back of Burke. So we had some shots in Burke. A big shout out to Matthew Lechin, actually, the producer of The Red. You should go check it out. But the people were so accommodating. I went to some farm properties there, and as a young filmmaker, you go up to places and you expect to be told, go get stuff. You can't do this here. But everyone was so accommodating. I went to a farm there, and we needed to do a chase scene through a farm. Didn't meet the bloke before, just knocked on his door, and he goes, oh yeah, just use that paddock there, just any rubbish you make, just take it, clean it up and leave it as best as you can, and that was it.
So Cobar is also used for testing some major cars in the world out, and I remember, so Kia test their cars, he tested in some at Cobar, but Jag tested cars out there, brought in from Europe, and then Cobar literally broke the suspension in the cars and had to redesign totally suspension for the Australian cars because we broke the cars in 2 days.
Yeah.
And they were stuck in sheds there until everything got redone and then got rebuilt. So it's a good testing place for cars.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, man, I was shooting on a long weekend there. We had a Land Cruiser, which was the principal vehicle in the film. And, we smashed a transfer case. So it was stuck in low range.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, well, I learned a valuable lesson. Not all actors can drive.
No.
No, I can't. Well, when you do movies, you make what you should be doing is getting someone to drive the car that can drive the car and just make it look like the actor's driving the car. We were a little bit short on budget, and I gave him a bit of an instruction on how to drive this thing. Never driven manual before. We paid the price for that. Tow truck on a weekend.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Tow truck. We got it out there. Ended up finding I was in town actually. Big shout out to the guys that do the transmissions in town. They helped us out. They did it at a discount because they realised that we were stranded, and we used the last of the budget to pay for that. I think I came back home with about $3 after paying for petrol.
Oh wow!
But we got the movie out, and we got it in front of an audience, and they liked it. So it was all worth it in the end. But yeah, we shot that out at Coburn, and then we come out and do Running on Empty 2018. But yeah, what an event! It's like, because we shoot promo events all the time, and that's the best one we've ever done, by hands down.
It's just a relaxing atmosphere, and everything we were very, very lucky, and everything flowed. It flowed really well, except for one thing. When we said to everybody be at the Coburn sign at 8:30 on Saturday morning for the photo shoot, everybody turned up at 20 and 25 past 8, which was the only time Cobar's ever had a red line through it on livetraffic.com, because we brought the barrier highway to a grinding halt.
That's a good claim to fame, that one.
It is. And then we had, luckily, two blokes speaking for the council went, they put some high-vis gear on and got the traffic moving again, so we've got to put a traffic plan in this time to move people around.
Yeah, but you don't, like, when you build something, right, because sometimes we all have that imposter monster. You go, look, I'm doing this for a good cause.
Yep.
And that's your passion, and you're driven to do it, and you realise, well, they made this movie here, so I've got something to celebrate. So if we merge those two things together, create a celebration, create a bit of influx of income to fix up the town and fix up the town's memorial is a very...
Well, there's no memorial there. We got to start from scratch, so there's nothing there. But it was a case of, we had an idea, we'll go Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday people go home, and all of a sudden people turn up Thursday. And we had half the crowd there on Thursday, and we were just going, wow, what's going on?
And it was packed to the rafters.
And it was okay. We've got half the... So now we're starting Wednesday. Wednesday night will be a welcome cocktail party. But now I can see people turning up Tuesday. I just know some of the people will be there Tuesday. We've had... So this is the one thing for the people out there who want to come to Running on Empty. We're running out over 5 days, but it doesn't mean you're going to take any more holidays. The core days will still be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So they still are core days. The days either side is for those that want to come up early, have a cocktail party to start off with, and just a meet and greet session. And those that want to stay, just as a bit of a gathering, family gathering on Sunday, have a barbecue or whatever. We can do that, and then they can head off on Monday. If they don't want to head off, they want to stay, more than welcome to stay. But the core days will not change. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, and you'll have like a show and shine, and the legendary auction that you guys run.
Well, the auction at the moment we've got So one of the ladies that used to run the golf club, Demi Smith, she's now the tourism officer of Cobar, which is not a good thing, because when her and I get together in a room, we come up with stupid ideas. So
I love stupid ideas, though, John.
So
stupid ideas are great.
So Mark Dutton from Red Bull Racing has become a very good mate of mine, and I put pressure on him the other day. So Demi said, since Cambelligo is sacred ground, how about we do a relay from Cambelligo to Cobar with a wheel? And I went, well, that's 47 k's. It could be too much. But so Red Bull, hopefully in the next 2 years, I can get a wheel and tyre out of Red Bull, and we're going to get it signed by the boys from Red Bull, and we'll come to the 2-mile 5k mark, and then we'll do a relay from there into the oval where the movie shot on the Saturday night, and get the boys to sign it from the movie, and then we'll auction it off. And sight unseen, I've had one of my mates putting $5,000 without... Well, I haven't even got the wheel yet, and he's going, well, we'll just put $5,000 aside for it, shall we? And I went, okay. But yeah, look, we hope to have some nice pieces along the way. Every month leading up to it, or every 2 months, we do online auction. So the first one I bought a watch, and basically in green for Green's Nice. We made a special box up for it.
That's really cool.
And
it's one of the most common quotes from the film.
Green's Nice.
Yeah, Green's Nice on the comments of all the material I've put out for running on MT.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got the watch, and it went for $1,100. Auction 2 for those people that running a crew out there will come online probably tomorrow night. I had lunch with Terry Serio today, and he signed a book for us and put a personal note in it, and that'll come up for auction. So
a big shout out to Terry.
Yeah, thank you very much, Terry. Thank you for your time today. Very generous with his time. Hopefully what we discussed today can come to fruition, and a bit of a surprise at running on empty. So
well, we've got to keep some things under the hat.
You've got to keep some things under the hat.
But no, I think Terry will be fine. Like we were talking about it before. It was just with COVID happening, it's just changed so many things, and I think Terry's just been out there doing his music online, and he's just pumping it out, man. So yeah, big shout out, man. You're doing a really good job out there.
He's so approachable. Because he went up to the drive-in up to Dubbo last weekend for the 2 nights that the movie was on up there. So the drive-in up there is doing good things for the movie as well. And for a movie shot in 1980. Shot 1981, released 82. I remember at dinner on running on Empty 18 that John Clark, the writer director of the movie, said, "If you told me 36 years later I'd be sitting in front of 250 tragics, I'd say piss off." And obviously that's the line in the movie. And he'll be back. He came through Cobar about 2 months ago, and I had lunch with him and his wife, and I said, "Would you consider coming back?" And he didn't answer. She said, "We're back."
No, I mean, I talked to them a bit at the festival in 18, and absolute legend, that dude.
He's so relaxed.
Yeah, but I don't know, but he's just a really nice guy, and everyone told, because he got told that he couldn't be able to do that movie. He told no one.
It was on the cards. It was going to be chopped.
Yeah, and now he looks. I remember interviewing him. He's like, just tell all those people. Well, just have a look around. I was like, yeah, man, you got a point, bro. You got a point.
Because it's the following the movie's got. I knew it had a big following, but seeing what happened in Cobar in 2018 and now going on with 2022, it is just big.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. It getting scary, right? This is just to go back to reinvoke your fear, because because that's what I was saying before. You pursue these things with an open mind and with the right motivation. Yep. Definitely. and then we have, but the other side of it is it's imposter monster. You go, well, only so many people are going to show up, and not many people pay attention, and I might just make the margin so I can make it sustainable and fix the town memorial. But then it turns out every man and his dog shows up, and you're like, okay, we've run out of accommodation. We need to start setting up a tent city here because people are coming in. And that was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. So
imagine in 2 years' time.
Well, the thing is, the way it's tracking, and we were discussing earlier, the way it's tracking now, we might have to consider capping the number of show cars, only because of logistics. So to put another 3,000 people in town is a logistic hurdle we got to cross. But something simple as getting fuel to...
to get the cars.
1,000 cars. We've got to bring another 9 tankers of fuel in. 98 octane alone.
Yeah, just because of the types of cars that you have.
So,
I don't think E10's going to cut it.
No. Everybody you talk to says 98 octane. So I use, shout out to Jenny Cleve. She's bringing a blown 57 Chev up, and I said, Jenny, I need a yardstick to how much fuel you're going to use. And she goes, I bring it up empty because if it gets stolen, it can't be driven away, and where there's a fire, it can't burn.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty clever.
So she said, I'm going to need several litres when I get there.
Yeah, I fell in love with her car.
It's beautiful, isn't
Beautiful machine. When I filmed that car, because I filmed a lot of cars, when I filmed that car, I remember each inch of that car. It is an amazing vehicle.
It's immaculate, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
fantastic. It's not overdone. It's just beautifully done.
Yeah, that's it. It is definitely beautifully done, and she loves that thing. Like because I've interviewed a lot of people in their car, like because I used to film races, and you talk to race car drivers, or big shout out to Blendline TV. Actually, we go out and film the HQs racing, and especially with the HQ races, they got more of an affection for their car because they love that. They love that category.
But they become expensive because the parts are so bloody expensive now.
Yeah, that's it. For sure. But they I don't know. I just find a lot of relationships between because I work in music, work with cars, and I work in film, and I find all of these crowds are quite fanatical.
Yep.
And that's the relationship I see between them. Like you like working in heavy metal, people will call them a metalhead, right?
Yeah.
And in cars, I'll call them a petrol head.
Yeah.
You know, there's the forte is different, but the passion's the same. That's what I've been finding.
But even with it running on empty, like the Ford or Chev Holden thing, you can even running on empty in 2018, you could feel it. People would buy the Ford stuff or buy the Holden stuff, and then we had the generic stuff in the middle. So it was very, very much separated between them, and we're going to have to do the same in 2022. So, and I've had people, have you got merchandise? And I'm there going, it's 2 years out. But anyway, we've got 40th anniversary shirts being done.
Yeah, you've got to get some merch for this.
I know.
I want a shirt and a hat. I want a shirt, a hat, and a stubby cooler.
So we're working on it. So I'm hoping to pick up our 40th anniversary shirts in the next week or so. And then that'll form the basis of, all of those designs will form the basis of our shirts for running on empty 2022. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
You'll get there, John. You'll get there. It's a lot of work.
I've got a really good committee. I've got new people that's never done anything this size, and then
perfect, because now you can teach them how to do it.
Yeah. And now I've got and my two, I see Emily Miller. Shout out to Emily, because Emily's the type of person you go to, Emily, I need this done, and you just walk away and you know it's being done in the background. So that's what you need with something like this, and she's just...
Oh, you need people like that though. Like, because you can't do it all yourself. It's not possible.
No. And the rest of the committee is the same thing, because, as I said, we raise funds through our version of Dancing with the Stars, and the other people that's on the committee is on my committee for Dancing with the Stars. So they know that I run around like Rocket Rabbit when things are going on. And Sharon, that's normally our backstage director, and everybody's scared of Sharon, so you know that you can just... She's a stabilising influence with everybody, and just keeps... But if you're late, you're in trouble. So I know that...
Even on time with people like that's late. If you're not 5 minutes early, you're late.
Yep. So, look, it's a really good committee.
We need those sergeant majors.
You wouldn't think butter would melt in the mouth, but holy cow, she can bloody get you so scared. So anyway... Look, the difference between it is town now knows a little bit more what to expect. Coca-Cola will come on board again for our own beer for a 3-month period. The council's right behind us.
And that's the hardest part, I think. That's the hardest part.
Well, the council's offered us they're going to work us out so we can cross the T's, dot the I's, and make sure everything's above board, and they're going to obviously, we've got to do a DA for every part of it, and they're going to help us do all that. And that's hard. To me, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of administrative work.
And they're going to help us with that, and Demi's going to help us with that, and there's great people behind the scenes that are going to help us with that, which allows us to go forward and do the nuts and bolts and getting stuff in place.
Yeah. Where are things going to be? Who's going to be where, doing what?
Because before we had running out to Campbell Go and to Show and Shine the same day, if we have 800 to 1,000 cars, it's got to be a Show and Shine day only, just for judging. So Show and Shine will be on the Saturday from 10 o'clock to about 4. Going out to Campbell Go will be on the Friday starting from 8:30, because of everybody wants a car in front of the Cobar sign, so we'll probably have to do 200 cars at a time in front of the Cobar sign. It
was one of the best photos though.
It's a fantastic photo.
That is a great photo, because it's such a good backdrop, because it's something that's iconic to the town, and it shows it's because it's a mining town, and it shows that aspect of it, and it doesn't shy away from that at all. It's quite bang. Like, when you drive to Cobar, you know when you're in Cobar because you'll see that big sign.
You get the sign when you get in there, and that's why everybody will want their car at the front there. So what we'll do this year is we'll have 200 cars, shoot them off to Campbell, go next 200 cars, shoot them off. So they'll give you a break on the highway as well. Coming back might be a bit different because we'll probably have about 800 to 1,000 cars coming back, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I wish I got more footage. The only issue I had with the last time was I didn't get enough footage of Fox 1 because Fox 1
didn't quite make it down.
He didn't quite make it, yeah, because he took out his oil pan.
I'm hoping they put a bash plate under this year.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But what I'm going to do is going to take an extra cameraman with me in case something like that happens, so I can go get the coverage of it. Like, because I'll get on the radio, like, they've had a breakdown. Right, go film the breakdown.
Well, I remember that because they're running on synthetic oil. So we put synthetic oil, and the next day it leaked again. So it was about $150 of synthetic oil on the floor again. But anyway, but they were absolutely fantastic bringing that car out there. They came from Perth, man. They came from Perth, and the car was immaculate all the time. And they just the nicest people you could meet. They were just fantastic.
Yeah, that crew, they were hilarious. They were great.
And when you got because they did, but when they got up there, Jason made the greatest speech on the stage that night, and we just went, "Oh wow, okay."
Yeah, no, they really show you that being deaf don't get in your way. That doesn't get in their way.
No.
If anything, you got to keep up.
Because we panicked because it got like 4 days before, and said, "Have you got anybody with Auslan?" And we went, "No." And then when they got there, there wasn't a problem, but I would like, ideally, this is one of my tick boxes, I would like to have somebody with Auslan and have a interpreter on the stage when we do.
Yeah, no, that'd be great, but I think it's just one of those things, like, when you set up a festival, you start with 100 considerations.
Yep.
And then you realise there's 1,000.
Oh, definitely.
Because you go to the obvious things, but then some things you go, well, we've just done all these things in this much time, and we compressed all this time, and we leaned on so much people to help, and they were very forthcoming and very lovely and helping. But then you get to once things are in operation, you realise, there's more to it, and that's where that big monster comes into it, I think.
Well, dinner will change. It won't be a full sit-down dinner this year. We want to probably squeeze another 50 people in there, bring up to 300, but have more of a cabaret setup. And the auctions will not be all on one night. They'll be available to everybody online and in the shop. So that'll free up time for Q&A, for people just to kick back and relax, and rather than take up time with an auction. So it's just stuff we learned along the way, and it's all a smoothing out thing.
Yeah, I think it's 6 in one and a half dozen in the other, because the auction was so much fun. Watching these crazy bids go out there on some of this amazing stuff. I think that I saw this coffee table that was made out of a V8.
Look, we will still have auction items there. There won't be a whole lot of auction items. I got a call today from a really good mate, my mate Paul Boyson, and he's going to go to a couple of places and see if there's auction items coming, and they can provide auction items. So those items will be up there. We'll have ones that'll run while the people are there, so they can go and see it and touch it and everything else. Because things that I found last year was the bumper bar from the Red Bull car. People went, they bid on it, and they saw the scuff marks after they bought it and said, has it been used? And I said, yeah, it came off Jamie Wincup's car. And they thought it was just a mock-up. And I'm going, no, it came off the actual car.
It's the actual car, yeah.
But I tell you what, that coffee table with a motor, that was insane.
That was pretty insane. Yeah, I remember looking at it and going, I'd love that in my lounge room. Wow. That would be amazing. Yeah, but the Q&A is important, though.
We need to do Q&A.
Because you've got a massive fan base there, and they want to talk to their heroes. They want to be able to talk to the guys that was a film that changed the way they look at the world and changed their, well, not just a hobby, but their passion.
Yep.
It's something that it is almost religious in nature, where they're just these cars are iconic, and it is very well talked about amongst the car community.
With the cars, you said you've got your actors there. One of the people I'm so happy to have back in town, Jeff Rowe, will come back because he's been back in the meantime. He loves Cobar because
big shout out, Jeff.
He just happens to like a beer. And Peter, when I went out there, I just got technically his minder because he needs a minder. Peter Milne just said, I'm just throwing him in the car and bringing him down. I said, by all means, bring him down.
I think the term is loose cannon. That's what he's an absolute loose cannon, but he's hilarious.
He's
someone you want to be around a lot.
He's just so relaxed, and you just go. Oh,
and he says the most outrageous things. And he asks the most funny questions. I remember I was filming him getting interviewed, and he started conducting the interview. Well, like, I'm filming him, like, we're supposed to be interviewing you, and you're doing the interview. But you just let him go. You just let Jeff Rowe be Jeff Rowe.
Well, on the way back, I said, I text Peter, and I said, look, to Peter Mill, and I said, did he enjoy his weekend, the 3 days? And he goes, I'll put it in one line for you. We got back, and he said, what do you know, 3 days, not one arsehole. That basically describes running on empty, 2018.
Yeah.
Everybody got together. It was like a big family reunion, if you ask me. It was insane.
Yeah, I don't think those guys had been together for a long time.
A lot of them hadn't seen one another for years and years and years. So
yeah, well, I think it's a small world recently, because I've been following Terry online because he's always on Facebook playing guitar.
Yep.
And I went to a film festival on, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I've lost the track.
It was on the
Sunday. I think it was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
Yeah, it was Sunday, a couple of days ago, and I ran into Jerry Sond, who was in Running on Empty. I think he's going to be coming to Maine in the West, so I'll hit him up and see what he's doing for Running on Empty.
Welcome. Him and his wife's more than welcome to come back.
Yeah, well, because I contacted him on Facebook, and I put a post out with a photograph with him, because you see someone like Jerry, and you go, I want to get a photo with you. And watch this space for Running on Empty 22. So I think he'll be out there.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
We'd like to get the old crowd back there. We want to get as many back as possible. We've held rooms for. It was like, that's why I need to know how many rooms I've got to book for you.
Yeah.
So basically, we've gone to 2 hotels and taken about 2 hotels out, but it's all good. So
I don't know. But I got this message from you like 3 PM. I'm like, but John, this is like 2 years. Like, I was thinking, but this is 2 years away, man. Man, he's onto it. And then I thought, oh no, man, like the rooms are going. No, I better respond.
You need to tell the other 3,000 people out there it's 2 years to go, because they want to arrive tomorrow. So
yeah, that's it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's great to schedule these things out. But I reckon, between you calling me to do 2022 and this podcast, we're going to blink and we'll be doing that festival.
We started the countdown about 850 days. We're below 750 or 700 days now, which is just we're getting to 700 days. And it seems to have gone in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, I reckon it's gains momentum though.
So when we put the Facebook page up for 2022, we hit 500 people in 4 hours. It went to 1,000 in 4 days, and we went to the 2,100 mark. So it's slowly climbing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, out of all of the clips that I've posted, they all still get traction. They get played every day. All of the Running on Empty stuff gets played every day.
I don't know whether they've got in contact with there's a cross festival which happens to be exactly 1 year out from Running on Empty 2022 on the same weekend in Victoria, in Colgoa, called A Weekend with Hooks. Yeah. So they do 5 movies. Running on Empty is one of them. They've asked us to come down and co-host the Running on Empty version.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I think we will.
I think you should.
I think we will. Look, I think we've arranged a couple of cars to come down already. There'll be a handful of people from Cobar. Anybody else who was running on Empty 2018 and want to come to 2022 and you want to come to that weekend, by all means. They've only got 600 people, so it's not a massive festival.
But you still might be able to get like Jenny to take the Chev.
I've asked Jen, so I don't know whether she said, I'll think about it. So she hasn't committed yet, but she hasn't said no either. So
yeah, we'll see. And there's a few other guys out there that got like the Rammer and Little Rock and Roll. Is it Little Rock and Roller? The Little Rock and Roller?
Rammer's been sold.
Again?
Yes.
Wow. Rammer gets around.
So I'm not sure I was going to turn up in the spot, but I'm sure they'll come up with something. But
yeah, I'm sure they will.
A big Sam McMinn's bringing his beautiful red Corvette down from Brisbane again. But he's told me he's bringing 2 cars if he can convince his father-in-law to get I'll let him have the other car. So I'm not sure yet. So he's working on that.
I'm sure a few rubber arms can be bent to get all that done.
Oh, no. But it was a case of people went away and they said, we'll bring back 2 cars. And you're going, and now looking at numbers going, you can only bring back 2 cars. You can't bring back any more.
Yeah, that's it. You've reached you got your car limit.
Your car limit. So,
yeah. Oh, but you have the same thing in because I do a film festival, and you'll get like 70 to 100 films, but you can only show 18 of them.
How do you do that? Do you have to view them all here and then do a cull here?
Yeah. Well, what I do is I watch them all here, which normally takes between 14 and 16 hours.
Ouch.
But the thing is, I've got to do it for 2 reasons. The main reason is I need to curate it for the judges, because I don't actually judge the films.
Okay, righto.
I give them to a judging panel. I've got a great judge this year. Big shout out to Brian Brown. I've got Brian Brown.
No way.
Yeah, I've got Brian Brown as a judge. We've got some really other big judges out there, but he's like a king heavyweight to have on our committee, and I can't be. I'm just so thankful for that. We will we give all of that content to the judges. They then rate it. They rate their films. We give them a marking sheet. Essentially, it's like marking an essay. It's technical proficiency. Its storyline. Does it have a start, a middle, and an end, or is it just nonsensical? And its replay value. How entertaining is it? And then we will get a score out of 30. We'll just put that into an Excel spreadsheet, and we go, right, there's the high. Okay. That's who won. And we'll know at that point who's won Made in the West, and we know who the runners-up are. We also get them to mark the best director, best actor, best actress, sound design, best score. So we have people that make music. We give awards out for music now. And best cinematographer, so best person behind a camera. And we do all of those awards through the night. Big advice to other film festivals out there: don't do all the awards at the end. It's like waterboarding someone. Do it concurrently. Like show a couple of movies, throw a couple of awards out. Do a couple of movies, throw a couple of awards out. It's really good advice. Do the big awards at the end.
Yeah, no, but
do the big winner.
Give them a break.
Yeah, give people a break. And if you're going to do sponsors, do them concurrently. Don't waterboard people at the end. All right, we're going to mention now 100 sponsors at the end. Just mention them as you go. Like, sponsors understand and they get it. As long as you put their print media up and on the social media sharing. That's what it's all about. Social
media has been great for us because we get instant response back. That's one thing I found. And you want instant response. You want to see where you're at. We've started getting sponsors on board. Yeah,
you'll be right.
Yeah.
Nope.
Social media. We'll have because we've had sponsors come on board now. But what we want to do is give them 2 years worth of advertising out there saying thank you for doing what they're doing. It's really like it's a big commitment for them to put money out, and we don't want money now. We just want commitment right now because during COVID-19, everybody's doing it tough.
Yeah, totally.
We don't want dollars now. It's like I'm hoping by 2022 we've got COVID under control and things settled down. Otherwise,
you'd think, right?
Otherwise, we're in deep strides.
Yeah, if we don't have it sorted by then, I think the least of our problems is festivals. I think Mad Max. If you look at Mad Max, right? Mad Max happened in 2021, like according to the story. So
I know, and everybody's going, okay, let's not be scared. But
let's see what happens.
But this is like with the COVID thing. I'm heading to Bathurst for the races, and I was very lucky to get tickets. But instead of having 60,000 seats, there's going to be 4,000 people there. And I got a call from V8 Supercars today saying we're moving a little bit higher up in the seats, and it'll be different. And I said, yeah, it'll be different. Because it'll be year 43 for me in a row.
Yeah, because you've got a massive tradition doing this, right?
Yeah, I can't break it now. It's for year 43. So a mate of mine said, congratulations, even with a 1 in 100 year pandemic, you're not breaking tradition. And I said, I couldn't let it do it.
Yeah, no, you can't. We had the same attitude, though, starting through COVID, we took massive losses. But then we thought, right, how can we restructure ourselves to take advantage of the situation? And that advantage is a digital audience. We reach people because we're all long in the tooth and like filmmakers, and we've been doing it for a while. We like to go for a drink. We like to go to a pub, and we like to hang out. But not everyone likes to do that. That's not everyone's forte. Some people like to drink tea, and they don't like to go out to pubs. And we're reaching those people now.
Well, I think the only way to survive COVID-19 is by adapting. If you don't adapt, you're gone.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely.
So it's thinking outside the square and making things happen even while things can't happen, sort of thing.
Yeah, make it happen. Like we released content this year. I even did some stuff from Running on Empty because I had extra footage and I had time and I put it together.
And you said it's still getting hits from the...
Yeah, 2 years later I thought, I'll just do this for these guys, because I did the main form content, released it out, and then obviously you get to do gala events post and go look at what we did for the town, which is the main purpose of it. Like you still get to audience gets to look at what you did as that, but then the town gets to reflect on it through that piece, and that's how I made it. I made it as a dream, as a memory.
It is. So we were very fortunate this year that we've had ABC Backroads come and do an 8-day shoot. So Running on Empty is going to... We spent a day filming it, and so that's February release. Damien rang me up and said, I'm just editing now and it should turn out all right. So we'll send some photos from 2018, which will go into their production as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that all comes out. But it was exciting to have that there. And like you putting on, because it said, every now and then people come when I say, what's Running on Empty about? I'll pull your clip up and say, this is the easiest way to show you what Running on Empty is about. Yeah. Because you distill it down to a single small video, which is great.
Yeah, but that's the idea of it.
You can't describe Running on Empty without going through 10,000 words.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you guys when you were building this festival. I said, are you going to build a media component to it? You guys, I don't really know. I'm like, you really got to.
You have to.
Because then you don't capture the memory. It's a record of what you've done. And if you do it in a fun way, it's not just a record, it's entertaining.
Well, if you even now, if somebody says to me, what's Running on Empty around, you cannot go, this is a 2-minute session, but you can do it in what you do. You can go, there's a 3 to 5 minute video, and people can go, wow, that's just insane. Yeah. Because you can't, there's no way, I didn't get down, I was busy setting up for dinner on a Saturday, so I didn't get down to Cambeligo. So I actually learned what Cambeligo looked like with all the cars down there. Yeah. So when you run a festival, you can't be everywhere at the same time.
No, that's what I mean, you can't do it alone. Can't be done.
So I sort of learned along the way as well, which is really, really good.
That's what I mean. You take those first 100 things into consideration, you go, I've got this, and then you learn it's 10 times bigger than I thought. No. And then you get to those 1,000 things, and then it starts to expand again. You're like, oh, there's 10,000 things to do.
But I think again, somebody up there was looking after us, was Running on Empty 18, because everything flowed. The crowd was fantastic. The cars were beautiful.
Yeah, and the town was receptive to it.
Town was receptive to it. That was one of our concerns. How would town take to this? And town just was very receptive to how the whole thing. But again, it was because he was in the back of the people's mind is you're going to have people running cars around town everywhere, burning, and they didn't.
Yeah, they had that because you have those negative news ideas, right? Yeah. People doing burnouts in town square. Yeah, and it just wasn't like that at all.
So it was a case, and then people went, this is, and I'll tell you what, I had people come back to me on Monday, and they rang me up and they said, I really miss the cars running around town because there's no noise going around town anymore, and they missed it. And it was a buzz that the Running on Empty family basically put in a K-bar for X number of days. That's why we're going to just push it a couple of more days, have that feel in town for a little bit longer. K-bar's still recovering from, and so is a lot of the western towns. Yeah, totally. They're still recovering from the drought. One thing I was really, really happy with is the people that came out for Running on Empty 18, those people that travel thousands of Ks, they tend to pull up in the small towns and spend a bit of money all the way up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is great. Really, really good.
Oh, we stopped at a place called, was it Bogan?
Bogan.
Yeah, we stopped at Bogan.
Bogan Gate. Was it Bogan or Bogan Gate? Bogan?
No, I think it was Bogan. And they had the Bogan Caravan Park. And we saw the Bogan Caravan Park, and I said to Misty, I need a photo. Because Being a bogan, I need to have a photograph in front of this so I can send it to everybody. You certainly do. We stopped off. You stop off for food all the way, petrol, and it's not just your town that you're helping. You're helping
everything along the way,
everything in between.
But with 2018, you go, we got 400 cars coming, okay. You don't realise where those 400 cars come from until you start plotting it, and that's what we want to do this year. Because as people come aboard, I say to you, if you're going to come, let me know. Give me your name, an email address, how many people and which car. So then I can start plotting from there where you're coming from, because they should be recognised for the number of Ks they're doing to get there. Said K-Bar's a long way from anywhere.
Well, I've got some advice for you if you like on how to do that.
Go on.
When they register their car, come up with a survey as a part of their prerequisite to filling that out. Because you go, right, if you want to be in this, you have to fill out this survey, and here is all your... Because you need to do other waivers and all these sort of things, right, for them. Just incorporate a survey amongst that criteria. And as well, especially if it's scarce space, if you go, well, we've got to cap it, people that fill out their survey properly are going to...
They get priority into the system.
Absolutely. And especially, I recommend that you add that as an administrative process in signing up.
Because we want to reward the people that come in early. And I said, at the moment, we've got 500 people that's coming early already.
Yeah.
We've got 203 cars now. So they're in there. And these are hard numbers. These are not Facebook numbers where people go, I'm going to come and then don't turn up. These are
hard,
these are the hard numbers.
I'm a heavy metal singer, and I can tell you all about that. Everyone's going. Everyone's going, folks. You'll know when the ticket sales come in.
Because I was going to say that. I was going to say the same thing, because initially we set up town going, we're going to have 2,500 people, and 1,000 people turned up. But I think just having 1,000 people turn up was the best thing that ever happened, because it was manageable at that stage.
Because you didn't know.
It was a learning curve.
You didn't know.
And it was manageable, and the people that came from running on empty made life very, very easy for us. So it was a very manageable number to work with.
Yeah, you did have the wins were in your favour in a lot of ways for that festival.
Because the thing, the local car club, the Dust Bowl Fuel Burners, shout out to them, because they have got the biggest job, because they have to run the show and shine again. So they can have a big job on, and they made it easy in 2018, because we just said, just go see those guys and register with them, and they just ran with it from there. So it's a case of, we basically have to pull resources from everything into one spot, or deal it out to another, the responsibility out to somebody else.
Yeah, that's risky.
I know.
That's a scary prospect.
You basically got to...
Because that's a hit or miss.
I know, it's a hit or miss. So you got to take control, but not make it like...
Yeah, you can't make it totally draconian, my way or the highway.
No.
Well, they call this the flexible artist point of view. Consulting the people around you, asking for advice, taking on advice, and sometimes not taking on advice, because sometimes it's good not to take on advice if you've got bad advice.
Definitely.
But I think the key is to be vocal and to talk to people in the know. Like, go and talk to other guys about that are doing similar things. Go and have a beer with them. That's usually that's how I get by and learn things. Well, now I've got a podcast. I interview people about stuff I want to know, which turns out pretty well.
Pretty well.
Yeah. I recommend that. Surround people with around yourself with different personalities. You don't want to be elitist in a way, like, because it's a bit of a slow death. You want different variations of personality. You brought it up before. Most backstage managers are a little bit sergeant major-ish, and but you don't normally find that out until something's gone wrong or you've pissed them off.
But you need that there to make everything run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not being draconian; it's just being forcefully pleasant about making
a little bit firm.
Making it firm. But I tell you what, with Dancing with the Stars, without Sharon at the back there, we would be wonderful, because you've got all these people going. Because nobody goes out on the dance floor stone cold sober, believe me, you drink out the back. So she's got to keep our drinking under control and make sure the people are there on time.
Yeah.
And dressed and everything else ready to go. So it's great.
But at the other token, you need your Jeff Rose, right? You need your loose cannon on deck because
Jeff is just one of the nicest people you meet because you just want to sit with him and have a beer. And
you always want to talk to him.
You always want to talk to him.
Yeah, and he walks in the room, he lights up the place.
He does. Because I remember the cocktail party, everybody was dressed up, and Jeff turned up in his flannies and his jeans, and all of a sudden he didn't look out of place. Everybody went, I wish I wore my flannies and jeans too.
But then you got someone like Terry as well, but he's someone I'd go to for sage advice. Man, I've got this thing going on. What should I do about this? And he's a bit of a wise man.
Terry is very, very switched on. Obviously, he is in the industry, and therefore he's
been about.
He's learned along the way.
And he's not...
The one thing I've found about Terry, besides being switched on, very good at what he does, good singer, acting and everything, he's approachable all the time. Very, very approachable. Really, really nice. And it was just so good time just today having lunch with him. And we were there for 2 hours. It just went like that. So
yeah,
it was good.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. You need that contrast of people. You can't do it on your own, and you've got to invest in people. But at the same time, I sometimes I'm hesitant to outsource things. I like to find the people that I want.
Yeah, you're like me because I want to let go of something, but I can't totally let go of it. So it's just sort of going the finger in the collar type thingy.
Yeah, I need to establish trust, and I don't. I mean, like that personality trust. Like, are you as passionate as me about this? That's what I need. I don't want someone who's just doing this for a payday or someone that's just doing it. Oh well, this is how I fill time. I don't want a time filler. I want someone who's going to go by the jugular and have it for dinner.
Well, this with having Demi Smith on board from the council, like she's young, she's got great new ideas, and she goes in there, and she's a go-getter. She gets in there and she goes, how about we do this? And you go, oh, I didn't think about that, but that's a great idea. So you need people like that throwing ideas at you as well, because often you got the blinkers on, you don't see outside the square, so you need to
yeah, well, when you're in a race, you're only looking at the finish line.
Yep.
You're not taking in the scene.
Yep.
You're not taking in the scenery. You need people with different eyes, different ears, and someone that was like as well. I need people around me as well that won't take my shit. That's another one I need. I need someone who will like put me in my place and do it properly. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, Sharon does that. She'll.
Yeah. You need those around.
If I get out, she'll just go, no,
ain't happening that way.
No, you're not happening that way.
Yeah, I need. And you need as well someone to listen, because sometimes you get stressed out doing this, man. Like there's so much work. Sometimes you need to just word vomit on someone and go, man, this is what I'm going through and this is what I'm doing.
Well, the thing is that I've got a committee, but some of the people are actually working away. Anita's not in Cobo anymore, but she wants to be part of the committee, and she's going, what can I do, what can I do, what can I do? But 2 years out, it's only what's in here right now that I want to establish. So it's a case of, every now and then I go, who wants homework? And I give them homework, but it's only little things at the moment. It's, look, 12 months out is probably we're going to kick in where you're going to go, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, battle station sort of stuff.
Battle station type stuff.
Yeah.
Right now it's getting all the planning in place. And working out where we're going to run into, or where we think we're going to run into trouble.
It's maps, it's petrol tankers, it's traffic control.
But when you have a look at it, and 2018 was done in 10 months. 2022 cannot be done in 10 months, and I think that's why the 2-year thing. When I got the thing to go, right, I go and do it. It's a case of maybe 2 years is a good time period.
Yeah, it's less stressful, that's for sure. But as well, it gives you time to set up that foundation, and then you've got your rocket platform, and then you can launch your rocket, right?
Yeah, definitely. It gives us time to get a bit more of a sustained input of everything we need to do in place.
Yeah.
So as I'm on holidays actually, but I'm going to go around to places, and I've sort of said to him, I'm in this place and such days, you want to catch up for a drink? So I'm catching up with a couple of blokes up in Tamworth.
Even on holidays you can't help yourself, can you?
No, I'm doing Bathurst, and then I'm meeting a few people along the place, and then I'm going to Tamworth, and then we've got 5 days in Coffs Harbour doing nothing, but we'll see what happens. But
I'm very much like that as well. I can't help myself. Always got to work.
It's a case of, I'm travelling, so I might as well meet the people that's passionate about coming to Cobo, and if they've got any questions, ask them now. We've got 2 years to sort stuff out if you've got issues.
And it's not work anyway. It's a little bit of effort, but it ain't work.
No.
It's effort, but it ain't work. You know?
Like, there's a couple of people in Timor they want to catch up with, but I'm thinking if I catch up with them, the JD is going to come out and I'm not going to go much further. So it's a case I've got a segregated day out there somewhere.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to schedule a hangover, I find.
I know, that'll be a hangover, believe me.
Oh, well, John, look, I think we've come to the end of the show.
Thank you very much, mate.
Mate, where can people go to find out about Running on Empty Festival 2022?
2022, so just Facebook and just search ROEF 2022.
Mm-hmm.
On there, you will find that if you're coming to Running on Empty, you'll find there's email address to send to. If you want sponsors, there's stuff on sponsors on there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coming to Cobar, the one thing I ask, if you're bringing a car, please send your photo with the email saying you're coming to Cobar, because that photo is going to become part of a promotional video that I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, okay, so it's not just about the details, it's about the meat. You need some digital assets there.
I need some digital assets there, because when you go in there, I want to use your car as part, so you'll become part of the video release that we want to do for advertising.
And folks, you should definitely do that. You've been doing some brilliant Facebook promotions. I think they're looking really good. You're constantly posting. You're hitting the right targets, I think. So keep going. Just keep going, John.
Thank you very much, mate.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Pagey Train, and don't forget to subscribe. And as well, if you're liking the Pagey Train, don't forget to hit the notifications here. And speaking of Running on Empty, I have on my channel a stream of Running on Empty videos, all the way from the documentary, and a few little interviews with car owners and car lovers. And as well, if you need any Foley work or promotional work done, just personally message me and I'm sure we can come to an arrangement. And of course, if you're doing something that is of a creative nature, we can definitely come to an arrangement and look at some rates. Enroll me in the idea, sure we'll get it done. But you've been watching the Pagey Train, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, John.
No worries, mate.
That was fantastic. Yeah, man. That was our